Morning and afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's briefing. I'm MLancaster, and I'll be walking you through our cyber resilience strategy for fiscal year 2026 to 2027. This is a 15-minute overview designed to give you clarity on where we stand, what the threats look like, and where we are investing to protect and enable the business growth. Let's get started. Here's our agenda for today. We'll start with an executive summary and introduction to frame the strategic context. Then we'll walk you through the cyber roadmap and resource planning that we've completed. The core of the briefing covers our threat assessment, risk posture, and 6 capability initiatives that form the backbone of our FY26 investment. I'll keep this focused, so please hold questions till the end. The executive summary captures 5 key themes. First, the digital transformation enablement. Our strategy isn't just about defense. It's about enabling AI, Zero Trust, and CRM. Second, our 2025 investment delivered on time and on budget. That track record matters as we request additional investments for 2026. Third, the board-approved growth projects for 2026 include DR enhancement, global SSO for CRM adoption, AI foundation, application security, transformation, and hygiene improvements. Each one directly supports a business growth objective. Fourth, the threat landscape. CISA and MITRE both rate both state-sponsored attacks and cybercriminal threats as very high and increasing. We have 5 threat scenarios exceeding board-approved risk appetite, driven by gaps in 4 of our control areas and 5 capabilities. Finally, our current resilience readiness is 3.2 against our peer benchmark of 3.3. Our target is to reach a 3.5 by the end of FY26 with significant uplift in identifying and respond capabilities. The bottom line, we need to shift focus to cyber initiatives that support business growth and resilience simultaneously. To set the context, corporate security is continuing our maturation journey while simultaneously enabling AI across the business. AI is changing our environment at an exponential rate, and adversaries are leveraging it even faster. We must keep up. This strategy covers 4 areas: status of our board-approved 2026 strategy, threat and risk assessment with control gaps analysis, capability investment that enable growth, and our prioritized strategic projects. Our objective is clear: reduce risk within appetite, embed digital trust into new offerings, guide investment decisions, and build compliance capabilities for GDPR and other AI regulations. The decision we need today is approval for the FY26 cyber roadmap. This roadmap spans 3 fiscal years, FY26 through FY28 and beyond. FY26 is our protect revenue and build trust phase. We are enhancing DR, expanding automated patching, deploying global SSO and MFA, inventorying sensitive data, embedding secure coding practices, and hardening our infrastructure baselines. FY27 shifts to scale digital growth securely. We automate more broadly, expand privileged access management, centralize key management, and deploy API security gateways. FY28 and beyond is about sustaining competitive advantage, AI-driven patching, identity governance for ERP and SaaS, enterprise key management, and container hardening. Each phase builds on the previous one. The investments we make in FY26 are the foundation and that everything else depends on. This slide consolidates the budgets across all 6 capability initiatives. Total FY26 investment requests $30 million in CapEx and $50 million in OpEx for a combined $80 million. The largest OpEx allocation is $20 million, goes to MFA and privileged access, reflecting the complexity of deploying global SSO and identity controls across our entire customer base and our customer base and our employee base. Configuration and hardening carries the highest CapEx at $7 million, driven by automation software and labor required for enterprise-wide deployment. Key dependencies across all initiatives include business coordination. We need the business to help define critical systems, appropriate baselines, and prioritize assets. The CRGCG, Sponsored Business Impact Analysis, is a critical dependency for DR and backups. Let's talk about the threat landscape for a little bit. This is why the investments matter. State-sponsored attacks are rated very high. 39% of major 2025 attacks were state-sponsored, and infrastructure targeting is up 34%. Volt Typhoon and Salt Typhoon embed themselves in U.S. critical infrastructure for years before being detected. Nextara's global footprint across 76 countries and our M&A pipeline make us a very high-value target for that. Cyber criminals are also rated very high. Ransomware victims increased 58% year over year, with 7,500 organizations appearing on leak sites. M&S breach cost £324 million, and healthcare is one of the #1 target sectors. Our Nextara healthcare operations are directly in the crosshairs. Activist groups are high, with AI-driven phishing of over 12,000% since 2022. The lines between hacktivists and state proxies are blurring. It's becoming easier for hacktivists to hack. Insider threat remain low, but still warrant attention. Privileged access management and behavioral analytics are essential controls. The key takeaway here, though, are the threat actors are sophisticated, well-resourced, and increasingly using AI. Our defenses must evolve accordingly. This risk matrix maps our top threat scenarios against likelihood and impact. We have two scenarios rated very high at the top. State-sponsored ransomware targeting in our healthcare environment, and AI-enabled social engineering bypassing identity controls. There are almost certain with critical impact. Three more scenarios sit at probable and critical: data exfiltration with double extortion, ransomware causing extended disruption, and supply chain compromise. Our target is to mitigate a very high risk to within appetite by Q4 of FY 2026 and all high risks by Q2 of FY 27. The scenario mapping reflects the current threat landscape, including AI-driven attacks, supply chain compromises, state-sponsored infrastructure targeting. Each of our 6 capabilities initiatives directly address one or more of these scenarios. This summary maps each strategic capability to its associated cyber risk and FY26 initiatives. You can see that every capability area carries a significant risk that our current controls don't adequately address. DR and backups focus on enhancing coverage for critical applications and automated monitoring. Vulnerability management targets expanded automated patching and full asset visibility. Identity, encryption, and secure development and hardening each have 3 specific initiatives that directly reduce their associated risk profiles. Now let's walk through each one of these capabilities in detail. DR and backup is about protecting business continuity. This is foundational for us. Revenue protection. We estimate over $2 million in losses per major outage. This initiative ensures SLA compliance with our top-tier clients and continuous operations during disruptions. From a competitive advantage perspective, industry-leading recovery capabilities support M&A readiness and enable expansion regulated markets. Customers' trust is the why. We need to guarantee service availability, demonstrate resilience, due diligence, and reduce mean time to recovery. The investment here is required is $4 million in CapEx and for AI, automation, and continuous pen testing technologies, plus $2 million OpEx for IT implementation resources. The critical dependency here is the GRCG sponsored business impact analysis to identify what's truly critical for our business. Vulnerability and patch management is about proactively closing security gaps before attackers exploit them. The business case is compelling. Average data breach cost is $4.5 million per incident. Automated patching reduces manual effort by over 60%, and real-time dashboards enable data-driven remediation. For our customers, this demonstrates a proactive security posture and reduces exposure window for customer impacting vulnerabilities. The investment here is $5 million in CapEx and $2 million in OpEx for backup and recovery technology and implementation resources. What we need from the business is coordination to determine appropriate baselines for patching and remediation priorities. MFA and privileged access management, always a hot topic here, is where identity meets business growth. You know our global SSO is accelerating our CRM adoption and customer onboarding. This is a direct revenue enabler. Seamless MFA improves customer experience, scores, and enables secure partner collaboration. This is also the foundation of our zero trust architecture, cloud migration, and AI-driven business applications. From a revenue protection standpoint, we're blocking credential-based access attacks and preventing unauthorized access to financial customer data. The investment here is $5 million CapEx and $20 million OpEx. This is our largest initiative, reflecting the scope of deploying identity controls across the environment, enterprise, and customer base. We need business coordination to help implement GSSO technology and communicate those changes to our customer base. Encryption and data protection is about safeguarding the business data to maintain trust and regulatory compliance. Regulatory readiness is a primary driver here. GDPR, AI governance, PCI requirements, and the U.S. Federal AI Executive Order all mandate strong data protection. For customers, this demonstrates data stewardship and protects PII and payment data end-to-end. We are protecting intellectual property, proprietary algorithms, competitive intelligence, and R&D assets for both us and our customers. The investment here is $5 million in CapEx and $2 million in OpEx. What we need from the business is identification of business critical data so we can prioritize our encryption efforts so we can do what matters the most. And secure SDLC is about embedding security into our development to fast track AI-ready production delivery. We don't want to be just the first on the block, but we want to be the first on the block doing it securely. Shift left security reduces late stage rework by over 40%. Automated CI/CD security gates accelerate release cycles, and AI-assisted code review speeds up secure development. The cost avoidance argument is strong. We prevent costly post-release remediation, reduce incident response costs, and lower technical debt through secure by design practices. The AI innovation angle is critical. Our Secure AI Foundry enables safe scaling of AI initiatives with guardrails against AI-specific attack vectors. The investment is $5 million CapEx, $2 million OpEx for AI-enabled code validation tools. We need coordination with development teams to move security review left and enable developers to self-serve security checks. Finally, configuration and hardening is our final capability, strengthening the foundations everything else sits on. Business resilience, hardening infrastructure prevents lateral movements attacks, Active Directory and DNS security protects core authentication, and we reduce exposure to advanced persistent threats. For compliance and audit, this satisfies ISO 27001 control requirements, helps our NIST CSF, streamlines audits, and demonstrates security maturity to our regulators and our customers. Operational stability improves through consistent baselines, standardized environments, and automated monitoring for unauthorized changes. The investment here is $7 million in CapEx for automation software, $3 million OpEx in labor resources to implement and maintain. We need configuration with the business to ensure, we need to coordinate with the business to ensure configurations are updated and maintained on an ongoing basis. We can't just do this once and call it done. It's going to be a continuous process. That concludes the capability overview and summary. $80 million total investment across 6 capabilities to reduce very high risk with an appetite, enable business growth, and position Nextara as a trusted, resilient organization. I welcome your questions. Thank you.